Hi everybody, and welcome to your monthly full moon. Full moon? That's a good start. Welcome to your monthly new moon for April. This is coinciding with Mercury going direct. There's a huge new start, new beginning. And I don't know about you, but I have been in contact with many people over the past, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, Thursday it kind of started, so 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. And today's the 16th. There was this kind of surge of shifts, breakthroughs, speed. Everything is going super, super fast right now. When things start to go super, super fast, people can have different experiences. So if you resist what is happening, there it is again, 10 of Cups. If you resist what is happening, then that it's not a pleasant experience to go super fast. And then it can not feel so great. But if you are aligning with what is happening consistently, then going super fast is extremely fun. And that's what makes a difference to your experience. So for some, it seems as though for those that are struggling to align with what is happening, it can feel a bit sticky. But what happens also when we move fast is it's like, I always feel as if our destiny is a piece of music and we move through it. And so things happen quickly. So you could come up against some experiences where you have to align with them because you're moving fast. So you might encounter experiences that seem to be not what you want, that resistance seems to kind of be invited. It's kind of like a test or testing. But if you get good at dealing with those experiences or triggers, essentially, there can be a lot of triggers involved because we're moving so fast. It's a bit like you're going fast, but you're in a racing car going on a racing track. It's not just a straight road, but you've got to get good at handling and maneuvering with what's happening, going with that flow, if that makes sense. So this is what is happening right now. Things are going fast, but the path isn't straight. So it is all about aligning. I've received some emails from people that are just like, oh, I had this experience. They said this back to me and I don't know what's happened because that's opposite to how I was perceiving things. Yes, there is a test of your faith, but your faith in your own perspective. We did not come here to agree. We came here to expand and to express our individuality without needing others to agree or bolster us in that expression, and to learn and to move with that and to be molded with others, to join with others. We are pieces of a jigsaw that when we are in alignment and allowing ourselves to move in that direction, it's powerful. So yeah, this is what's going on right now. And then I feel like the slate's been wiped clean. What's going to go on right now for this new moon cycle, which we are just beginning. So welcome, thank you. Let's see what's going to be occurring for this new moon cycle. Cool. Wow. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. This is clarity of mind and, surprise, surprise, a new beginning and a clear experience of knowing which way to go. It can feel quite harsh. It is the truth. The truth, the sword of truth, is what will break through and break down all barriers. You cannot say no to the truth. But it's about aligning with your truth. It's a singular truth. So the paradox is your singular perfect truth may not be the same as mine or anybody else's, but that's not the point. The point is that when we all align with our individual expression of our direct truth, it's very direct, this Ace of Swords, it needn't be opposing to another. We will align with the world when we align with ourselves. And what I'm trying to express here is this idea of this, the truth of who we all are is about the truth of who we are as individuals. The individual and the whole are one thing. So it's as though you are a microcosm. Your being, your body, your truth is part of a larger truth. If you do not align with yours, the whole thing's not aligned. And that's what we all want, is to be in alignment with this clarity. But so it's the truth cutting through. It's victory. It's the truth being victorious. It's your truth being victorious. But it has to be the clearest, the truthiest truth. It has to be the clearest one. It has to be that one where it hits, moves straight through you and you know. It's knowing. It's absolute certainty. It's so funny. I saw this guy yesterday in the coffee shop where I hang out and meet people and work and meander here in Mexico. And there was this guy and he looked like He-Man. He was just kind of shirtless and looked like He-Man would look now from if he was to become a man 30 years after he was created. It looked like He-Man had become physical and he was there. And it's like, what's it called? The sword of, what's it called? Gamra or something, I can't remember. Anyway, it feels like that. I don't know why I'm talking about that. But it's like, also, obviously, there's the Excalibur, you know? It's like, it's just true and powerful. And it's like, find your own powerful truth and just allow it to slice through all seeming resistance. Because that, trust me, it's like parting the waves. It's like Moses parting the Red Sea. When we align with that power, there's nothing we can't do. So, feminine on this side. First card for the feminine is the Three of Wands. Second card for the feminine is the Three of Cups. Ooh, interesting. Third card for the feminine, the Seven of Cups. Fourth card for the feminine, the Sun. Move them up slightly. First card for the masculine, the King of Wands. She's gone too high. Second card for the masculine, the Four of Cups. Third card for the masculine, the Ten of Cups. See, told you they wanted to say something. Fourth of Cups. Anybody? Fourth card for the masculine is the Three of Pentacles, and we will have to move it around. Crown. Let's put that beautiful truth in the center. Not sure why this, oh, I get it. The shot's tighter when it's recorded like this, and I did not know, but I do now. There we go. The truthiest truth. Because this is, I want to talk a little bit more about this card and about the truthiest truth. So we know what the truth is, but it's kind of like, you could say, you know, what does she look like? And you can say, oh, well, she's brunette. You know, she's 5'5". She's got green eyes. I mean, yeah, that's one level. But then you can go into detail and detail and detail. How can you describe a person? So basically, it's the truth is vast. So there are many, many ways that you could describe a person. You could probably, you know, I mean, people go into therapy for years, working that out, or dancing around the idea of who they are. I mean, we can do it forever. The beauty about relationship, and literally I include in relationship our relationship to the world and our relationship to the earth and everything, us in relationship to an other, no matter what that is. I mean, pets, you know, all relationships are powerful. This is, though, it's that kind of, it is about the self, but it's also about taking the self out into the world. But it's something about, it's a soul truth. And it's kind of like why you are here. It's when you find it, it's just wow. And this is, in terms of the relationship, it's about communicating, but not even communicating. It's about being the truth of your truth. In that moment, the highest truth you can find. And usually it's short, it's sharp, it's direct. It's not a 3-page email. It's not that. It's a 3-word sentence. 5 words, you know, or maybe it's 4 sentences of 4. It's usually, you know, that it's just that there's no, and it's not aggressive. It's clear. There's a difference between clarity and aggression. It's not aggressive. It's powerful because it's clear. It's the clarity that makes it clear. So it feels as though this moon cycle is about that, but it's happening kind of at the beginning. It's there. It's like the truth is here and it's cutting through. So the feminine, she starts off with this 3. She's waiting to hear a message. She's waiting for a response. She's in a little, it feels a little bit as though she's waiting for, it's just waiting. She's waiting. It's an interesting energy. She's kind of just not moving. I've never seen this card so still. This card just feels so absolutely still in this moment. And it's just, she's just on high ground, feels like she's on high ground, and just kind of waiting for the ship to come in. So maybe this is related to this truth. It's like, put your truth out there and then just wait. And that's in the weekly on the feminine side, about waiting, about chilling out and waiting. This feels to me as though it's about the enjoyment, because this is about anticipation. So waiting in anticipation is fun. So it's a bit like you book a vacation. It's fun to book a vacation. The period of time before you go is important, is not important. It's fun. You know, you're not like, oh, I just, you know, you're excited to go. It's the same with planning weddings. It's like, it's, you know, it's coming. So there's anticipation and fun, but there's also like a solidarity to it. Again, here, what is this? Absolute certainty of your truth. That you do not need anybody else to agree with it. But whatever she wishes to receive, this feminine, it is about patience, but it's about, patience is easy when you can be anticipatory in the experience. When you don't anticipate, so you're waiting for a bus. I mean, they recently changed this in London. A few years ago. The buses now, there's a screen or a little system, like when you're, or the tube on the underground, it's the same. If you're waiting on the platform and you don't know when one's going to come and you've been waiting for 5 minutes, maybe you're waiting for 10 minutes, you know, you can, if you get onto the platform and you know it's going to be 11 minutes until the train comes, that's fine. You know, on the 10th minute, you're excited. If you don't, and you've been waiting for 10 minutes, that's a completely different experience. So that's what it feels like that 3 is about. The masculine starts off over here with the King of Wands. He is a creator, and it does feel as though she's waiting for him. She's waiting for that character of the King of Wands. He's passionate, he's steady, he's loyal, the word I'm hearing is the creator. But there's something, I think, while she's waiting, he's kind of like, he feels like he's forming. It's like he's kind of forming. The masculine is it's like because there's not much movement that I feel coming from that card, especially with this kind of waiting over here. It's that he's on his way, but he himself is kind of forming himself in an interesting fashion. It's like he is creating himself. It's strange. It just feels as though that King of Wands, like I said, I don't usually read reversals. But this King of Wands, he just feels like he's not quite there yet. There's a not quite there yet to him. But I feel as though it's because he's being new and he's not quite used to this character. He's not quite used to being this King of Wands, so he needs a bit of time to get used to it. But what's on his way? What's on the way to the feminine? The King of Wands. He's fun. He's of spirit. He understands spirituality, intuition, passion, fire. You know? So he's a good example of that. Then it gets really super interesting with these 3 and 4. So you've got the 3 of Cups over here for the feminine, the 4 of Cups for the guy, but he's looking at these 3 of Cups. This guy. So there's this whole kind of like thing going on. While she's waiting, the feminine should just have fun with friends. I mean, this is just a basic kind of understanding of this card. It's celebration. It's enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Enjoy joining together with other women. I would say as well. It's like there's a sisterhood aspect of this card that's now really coming out. But also, what I feel wants to happen in this is that the feminine is able to embrace other women in her life, no matter where they come from. It's an embracing and a celebration with them. It's saying, don't reject or resist the other woman. Because it's still present over here. It's like he's looking at this 3, which stops him from receiving this 1, this unconditional love that's kind of coming in his direction. So I do feel as though there is still a little bit, as per the weekly, that so far for this moon cycle, and this is kind of like the beginning. There's this experience where the masculine's not quite receiving, and he's focusing upon this 3. But the 3 is present over here with the feminine. The key for the feminine is for her to celebrate the other woman, or any of with women, but especially it's about embracing women and the feminine and females, and celebrating and having fun. So these 2 3s work together in that way. Because it's just kind of like enjoy yourself whilst you're waiting, basically, is what it's saying. The feminine finding herself and finding her clarity is the most important thing. This 7 is about exploration, exploring. It means that different emotions will be coming up, as I said at the beginning. So it's fast, speed, newness, and speed, and directness, and truth, and kind of like bullet train. And there's going to be a lot of scenery that you get to see on the way and move through. And the job of the feminine is to discern and decide what is for her and what isn't. This card has shifted its shifted its meaning for me recently, because the traditional meaning is kind of like what's real and what's not real. And I'm just like, recently I had this revelation and it was just nothing's real. It's just shoes, It's about really discerning. These are just stories. Nothing's scary. Nothing's one thing. It's like, it doesn't, what do you want? You want a dragon, or you want the jewels, or you want the wreath, or you want this, I don't know what's in here, the unknown. You want the snake. What do you want? It doesn't really matter. Just choose. again, the message, don't identify with what you're observing or even what you're experiencing, even your emotions. It's kind of like, you are not your emotions. You are life force. You are conscious. You are consciousness. You are love. You are life force. You are grace. You are peace. You are, I mean, even that's too much to talk to say. Essentially, you're just awareness. You're awareness. So whatever you're becoming aware of, do not identify with, because then essentially it slows down your expansion. You just movement. Wow, that felt powerful. You are the movement. What you experience is just there for you to, it's the road. So it's that moves you, and you get, it's fun. It's pure fun. And when the feminine really embraces that experience of her own journey through, and it doesn't matter what the masculine throws at her, it doesn't, or anything throws, any relationship, doesn't matter what happens, she's always pure. She knows herself to be something greater than what is happening. Or really, it's just there's no identification. It's just we let go of this identification, and it releases resistance. And then the masculine shifts from this 4 to this 10. Shift in the masculine. Just shifts into, this is it, everything, completion, the rainbow, just emotional high points, family, expansion, connection. The river runs through it, the house on the hill, just the color, the blue skies, the freedom. This is freedom. It's emotional freedom. It's emotional expansion. And it's just consistent growth in a together. And it feels like freedom. The word I have for that card is freedom. And it feels very similar to the sun. The energy that I'm feeling from that rainbow is this similar to this energy from the sun, that light, that it's just this burst of light and greatness and glory that this truth reveals. And so here it is. The feminine, this is what she finds, is that path of least resistance, the speed, the innocent joy, the childhood fearlessness comes out of that 7 of Cups, out of not identifying with her experiences, because children don't identify with their experience. They don't hang around in it. One minute they're distraught because you took the ice cream away. The next minute it's just petting the dog. It doesn't even exist anymore, and that's kind of what that sun is. It's just that it's full speed ahead. But interestingly, using that analogy with the child doesn't stop itself from going down the road of despair because there's no ice cream, because mummy took the ice cream away, and screaming and shouting and yelling. So it's not to be afraid to go down these paths, to experience all these different emotions. Don't resist any of it. It's fine. It's all good. It's all clarifying. When we do not identify or hang around and make it mean something about ourselves, we're much more free to explore our experience, and that's what we're here to do. And it's all about repeatedly finding your truth, your direction. This is all about which direction do you go in. And then this is the experience through it. Freedom, expansion, childlike fearlessness. Incredible. And then the masculine kind of is on the flip side. He's doing all the practical stuff, but he also wants to work together. There's this togetherness that happens for the masculine. It's all kind of done and completed, and then he's like, let's get going. Let's build the house. Let's do this, together. Notice the 3 threes, 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles. It's about using other people and joining other people and using their expertise too. It's about using the skills and perspectives of another in order to aid our expansion. And I mean, aside from a pair, here, here, and here. So it's be with others, allow others to aid you and join you in these experiences because they have skills and things to give you and aid you with in this experience. Wow, there she is. Bottom of the deck is the High Priestess. This is she, the High Priestess, with that. Boom. Nothing we can't do. Nothing we can't do with that. It's just, this is high intuition, psychic ability. Notice the moon here is just coming into illumination. It's the growth of that light. The pomegranates of life blooming. And it's just this feminine power, you know? I mean, she's right down there. She's like rooting all of this. It is about, she is so connected to here, you see, because she is what that energy, that her energy is what moves through us, or what wants to move through us right now. In our exploration, she gets stronger and stronger and stronger when we stop identifying with what's happening or what we are experiencing. She becomes present, and when she hooks up with this Ace of Swords, because this is mental clarity, this is the mental clarity that gets born, and the truth that kind of sears and cuts through all barriers, seeming barriers. It's just, backed up with this heart. It's like it can only truly come, mental clarity, I believe. And I just think it's the truthiest truth for me anyway right now, is that true mental clarity can only come from deep within our own divinity. Our own intuition. It's intuition, when it's purely aligned, is just so powerful. It's like, it's magic. Let's see what this crown is. I mean, seriously. So this is just, what a backbone. I feel like I want to kind of lift that up. There we go. Gave a personal reading the other day, and I was using my big cards, and I kind of like had to back some cards up against the wall to fit them all on, and I just really enjoyed it. So I might try to do something in terms of the angle with that, but I just feel like that wants to be seen, especially because this is at a bit of height. It wants to be seen, this is the root, how it grows. So this true, strong, powerful, intuitive grace and connection and divine knowledge aligns through it's about becoming practical, but it aligns with our mental, there's no battle between the heart and the mind. It's about allowing her to aid you in your clarity and the communication of that, and watch how that just slices through everything. And how does it want to be expressed? This Four of Wands: union, togetherness, marriage, house moves, creation, creativity, balance, joy, the wedding vow, connection. I also feel as though this is pairs connecting. because it's four. It's connecting with like pairs, like people in like relationships. There's a lot of other people involved. Like I said, I feel this. So this also includes other pairs. This star, I mean, was this? Can't remember. I've been doing a lot of readings recently, but this star has been coming up a huge amount on the masculine side. I mean, just kind of I think the last 5 or 6 readings I've done of the relationship reading, it's been out, and it's been kind of on the masculine side. It's just, oh, this is feminine. Okay, so now it's on the feminine side, which is great. So it's just joy and expansion and freedom. It matches up really nicely with this sun. So it's kind of saying that I just feel as though she's experiencing it. She's kind of experiencing this light. I want to see what's going on over here. Well, there we go. I mean, this is just an incredible reading. And it doesn't surprise me because I know this is happening. But we've got the High Priestess, we've got the Hierophant, who's her husband. The Hierophant representing the grounded, secure framework within which the highest spiritual truth can reign. Community, again, other people, spreading it out into a community. It's marriage, it's the institution, but it's the institution it's built upon truth and true alignment with, it's the coming together of people in true alignment with themselves, with the divine within themselves, and how he arises here to meet that feminine intuition. He is the high priest, she is the high priestess. It's just a step on from the magus, the magician, as he is the creator, and now he's like the leader. You know, he is kind of like the spiritual leader, the teacher. He arises as the teacher, but he's not controlling. There's no hierarchy, but there's a congregation. There's leadership. Leadership is part of nature. It does not go against nature. There is a leadership under and within the framework, a framework that enables every single individual to expand and grow in their highest, best self. And that's who he is, and he's balanced by this. It's not just about, the patriarch or the matriarch. It's the two working together. But this is just like this kind of circle of around this truth. It's just all offshoots. It's all about truth and clarity and newness. It's a newness that's because the truth shifts and changes. There is truths that recur, but it's always new. It comes out of nowhere. It comes out of the soul is just sure. It's the assured soul in action. And it's about mental clarity. It's about the mind aligning. Notice how there are no other swords apart from this Ace of Swords. And recently there's been a lot of this kind of like sword action going on. You guys are amazing. This is your truth. If you're watching this, I promise you, if you're experiencing this, it might seem maybe as though it's not your experience. But like I said, it's just aligning with what feels best, even though circumstances can be anything. That's how that truth is found. And it really doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. This is just another opportunity for you to explore what you want to be true for you, or how you feel is true for you. and how you can find that mental clarity. But there's something I felt like it was missing here. I think people find that this can be a difficult leap from her to here. But it's something to do with that finding the truthiest truth. And I think other people can help us. The masculine and feminine, this is not the only mirror. There are many, many mirrors and relationships that will help you to find that direct knowing that is so assured that nothing can. The kind of paradox is when you do not need anybody to align with your truth, they just will. Because what happens is you find your pure truth. And when people experience that purity, they know it's true, and they won't fight it. That's why it's such a powerful energy, that Ace of Swords. And it's this is the expression. This is the expression of this intuitive truth into everything we should so desire, in terms of union and feeling united and together. And knowing exactly in the mind, knowing it in the mind and not just in the intuitive way. Let's talk a little bit more about this star over here for the feminine. She is the shining star. It's also creativity and healing. So there's a message here to do with those arts, the creative arts, the healing arts, the, whatever you feel works for you. In terms of feeling inspired, creative, alive, free. These are like my kind of naked free cards, and the major arcana is here for the feminine. So it's all about being who you are, being free, allowing your nakedness to show without the experience of vulnerability. It's power, it's powerful, it's fearless. I'm stripped, and that is not difficult for me anymore. That means that I am free and I can be exactly who I am. Ooh, that's easy. Wow, Knight of Wands. I mean, this is the passion. This is the passion. Feels like it's coming from the masculine side. I wouldn't be surprised if the masculine he's got this King of Wands and then this Knight of Wands. It feels like these masculine figures, and the Knight of Wands is my passion, Knight of Passion. You can take the K off that if you want. So it's this quite intense, powerful, sensual, passionate guy who comes kind of like galloping in. But see what he comes galloping in towards. He comes galloping in. It's kind of, she's got her back turned and she's doing like healing, but not as though there's something wrong. It's more like, oh, do you know what I'm really drawn to? You know the story of the lady with the alabaster jar? It's like, or the story of Mary Magdalene, and she's the anointing. There's something about that energy in here, about anointing. There's something holy about it. But it's healing, but it's not because there's any lack or there's any illness. It's because it's a gift. And it's connecting to the earth. And it's kind of like when she's real and who she is and doing what she does, he comes for her, with this passion and with this desire and with this spiritual truth. Because she's just this shining star. You can, it's like follow the star. Look at it, it's huge. And then the sun is a star. So it's also connected to this energy of her being who she is and being completely free. And he is much more about the practical creation of the structure. There's something about building houses and house moves, because this feels like it's about building architecture, building, you know, building solid things, building walls, building with stone. We, you know, the story of the building of the cathedral, it's building something that's going to last. This is about house moves. This is about creating structure. But creating structure within groups, creating structure, you know, in marriage, in institution, but it's not oppressive or controlling. It's just a union of souls. So in the institution of marriage, it's a union of souls. In the institution of, I don't know, a congregation, it's a union of souls. It's not being who they are, not following. It's not a congregation of followers, it's a congregation of teachers, teaching the world, being their truth in the world, but joining with others in being their truth, not being told anything. So he is the teacher, but he teaches truth of the individual. She too, he has risen up to meet her because she's all about that. She's always been about that. Talk about the rise of the divine feminine. She's always been about that. But he's always been about that too, but he just kind of got lost down this strange road. And we did that together. We all together kind of took the masculine spiritual leader down a kind of strange road, whereby he kind of told us what to do rather than invited us to connect ourselves to our own divinity. But now he does. But because she, like I said, she's always been doing that, and now they do it together. Now they do it together. And he can't wait to get going. You know, let's go. But he does kind of sneak up on her a bit here. What I like about these two energies is this is very kind of solid and this is very playful. It's like, this is very kind of, it's just solid. There's a solidarity to him, and he's like building, and it's like, no, let's do this and let's do it. It's very practical and solid, and this is kind of like throwing every care to the wind and just going for it, and it's just pure desire, pure passion, pure energy, pure movement, pure all of that kind of stuff. So awesome. So I'm going to pull a card from the World Kuan Yin Oracle. And it is a little bit of a long message. So, yes. I'm just going to read the beginning for the end of this reading and then carry on into a meditation that is available now for those that are here now and will be available later for those that are here later. So there we go. Let's pull, oh, that one's just shouting. Wow. Of course. Number 38. Surrender, sensitive sister, be moved by the moon, of course. Because we're doing this in alignment with the moon cycle, and that's what's happening. Oh, I can feel this stillness. So this is a moment to be still, to stop what you're doing if you can, to be restful, to be peaceful, to be centered, to be floating and yet grounded, to be present and connected to limitlessness. Just to take this in, take this time to be with yourself and connect with your heart. Number 38. Surrender, sensitive sister. Be moved by the moon. You know what you know, even when you don't know how you know. I speak to you through that knowing, the intuition that is beyond logic, the feeling that has no physical proof as yet, the instinct to keep going, to trust yourself and take the journey before you. Even when you feel like you know too much or are too sensitive, you do not need to shut down or try to protect yourself from feeling. What will work better for you is to be open and truthful with all that you feel and resist nothing. It shall then simply flow, changing like the phases of the moon, naturally and without effort on your part. I will guide you and show you how to do this so that you will never be afraid, even of the passing experience of fear itself. And you shall become surrendered into life, moved by the moon, a living embodiment of grace in motion.